Hello, this is Keith, aka Clone Freak 1 here, and I am here to give you a how-to video of playing a game that I came up with. I'm calling it Awkward Conversations with Myself, and I decided to make this game for the Solitaire Print and Play contest on Board Game Geek, the design forums. So this game is called Awkward Conversations with Myself, and this game is designed as a solitary game, and its main objective is to aid those suffering from anxiety or depression, to help recognize negative self-talk and counter the self-talk with statements that pull the person back to reality. This is not meant to be a 100% cure for anxiety and or depression, or a replacement for a therapist, and I urge those with serious mental disorders to seek help from a licensed professional. Above all else, this is still a game and can be lost. Losing is not meant to be negative in this game, and is an encouragement to keep going until you win. So, setting up this game right now, you're going to need, if you're making this as a print and play, I recommend that you get yourself two different color 52 card decks. You're not going to use all the cards. There's 51 cards in each of these decks. This is the Neuroses deck, and I'm going to be using that as a black backing, and then the Positive Thought deck, which is going to be a red color deck. Just to let you know. To begin the game, we're going to start by making a column of face-down cards. Where do you get 4 of them? Draw 4 of them. This is to denotate the columns and the rows. So there's 4 cards in a column, and then there's 4 rows here. And this also balances a little bit. It takes 4 cards out of the Neurosis deck. So the positive deck has a little better chance of winning. And basically, next step is to draw 8 cards off the top of the Neurosis deck and fill in like this, left to right. And then once you get to the end of a row, you go down and start filling up the next one. This card actually, this is an addiction card, which I'll explain that later. But the addiction card goes to the closest negative thought card, which is one of these cards, and that gets attached to it. I will explain that later, but that's one of the things. Okay, so we're at 8. That's 8 cards. So right now on the board we have basically every type of card. These cards are stressor cards. They have a power on them. This one's power of 3, strength 3. This is a 1. This has a special ability on it when you eliminate it. This adds to the strength of a row. This card, it's got a lot of text on it. It just adds +1 to the row. I'll talk about that later. And then the main reason we're playing this game is we've got negative thought cards that have a negative thought on them, and we're going to try and eliminate them with the positive cards. So then, at the beginning of your turn, after the 8 cards are drawn, you draw a 5-card hand off of the positive deck. And these cards are going to be used to try and break or eliminate these cards before they fill up and pass the boundary here. And this is so let's see what I have here. Okay, so I basically have all the type of cards that I have. The first see the positive cards have, see the positive cards. The positive cards have a number on it, and I can use this to break any of the other numbered cards that are under this strength or match it. There's a mental block card that I'm actually going to play right now, and that actually prevents cards from passing the line here. So we put a mental block there, unless it's an unless there. Well, I'll get to the addictions later. That's the next part with that. You've got a draw 2 card, a draw 2 card, and you've got a positive thought card, where you use these to combat the negative thoughts. So right now, we played the mental block. I'm going to play until I can't make any more plays anymore. I can use the strength forward card to break any of these 3 cards up here. I can't break the row behind it because there's still things blocking in front of it. I'm going to break this 2 strength card with my 4 strength card. And that gets eliminated, and then we discard over. We do have a discard pile of our positive cards. We're going to use, so let's see if I can try and get, I'm going to use my draw 2 to draw 2 more cards. Oh, and when I broke this 2, it has a special subtext on it. When this card gets broken, replace this card with another card off of the top of the deck. So, got replaced by a 3. And we drew 2 more cards. I'm going to use, I got another 4. I'm going to use this to break this 4, or this 4 to break this 1. And that is going to get eliminated. And normally with the subtext it says, oh, this will strengthen the card behind it after you break it by 1. But since there's not another number card behind it, it doesn't pertain to this. Next, that frees up this card with the addiction. Now, like I was telling you before, addictions get attached to negative thought cards. When you draw them off of the neuroses deck, this actually goes on the closest negative thought to the space that it was supposed to be drawn to. So it was supposed to be drawn to this spot, but because it's an addiction card, it's going to go to the closest negative thought, which just happens to be this. And the closest negative thought that doesn't have another addiction card in it. So if this already had an addiction card on it, I wouldn't be able to, if there was a negative thought here, I would not be able to attach this addiction card to that card that was here. I'd have to attach it here. But right now, since when we drew it at first, it got attached to here. And I'm going to break this 1 negative thought here. If you read it, the text says, everyone must think I'm a loser. And the loser is in bold. That's the keyword that is going to be used to break this card. There's also a secondary breaker icon here, and I'll show you how that works on the next negative thought. But here is the bold word, the keyword loser. And I just happen to have a positive saying that says no one thinks you're a loser, and you cannot predict or change what other people think of you. And if you see here, there's the keyword loser is bold. So this is actually the corresponding positive thought that breaks the negative thought that I have here. So I'm going to use this card now. Discard it and discard this. And when the negative thought gets broken, the addiction card goes with it. And addiction is what I forgot to actually explain wholeheartedly or 100%ly what the addiction card does. What the addiction card does is it makes makes the row have the ability, the column that it's in have the ability to surpass a mental block. So mental blocks are important, but the addictions can negate the mental blocks. So you got to catch those before they pile up on you and start going through your mental block and causing you to lose the game. We've got 2 cards left in my hand. This is still my first turn, by the way. I used the draw 2 card. I got 2 more cards, and then I used those 2 cards to break and break. Now, we also have another negative thought here that says, nobody seems to care about me. And care is the keyword. And then there's a secondary break icon. I'm going to call those something else in the long run, but right now these have 2 separate icons for the secondary breakers. So see the icon, and I just happen to have a secondary breaker card that has the same icon. So I can use this to break this positive thought. But it has the negative aspect of if there's any strength cards or stressor cards in the same column as the negative thought that gets broken, but with the secondary response card, those get a +1 to it for the turn, for the remainder of the turn. So you got to be careful with that, and you try and use the primary responses instead of the secondary responses. So I'm going to discard that and break this with that. They match. Go over there. And I have 1 card left with the keyword achieve, but I have no other negative thoughts here, so I can't do anything with this card right now, but I'm going to keep it right now. So this ends my first turn. At the end of your turn, when you've used all your cards that you have to use or have deemed the most optimal moves that you deemed basically the end of your run, you can keep cards in hand that you can still use to break other cards, but if you want to save them for other things, you can. So I'm keeping this card because I can't use it. You can discard as many cards as you want at the end of your turn and draw up to your maximum hand size at the beginning of your next turn. But right now I'm just keeping this because who knows? I could discard it if I want, but this would also leave me without this response, and I would have to hope to get a secondary response to the response of this card. Alright, so end of turn, I don't discard, I keep this card, and then I draw 4 more cards off of the negative thought deck, and I fill up the available spaces. So, we fill up here, left to right, we fill there, and fill there. Alright, and then we draw back up to 5. Okay, so we got another mental block. We put the mental block there, and we do not have anything else. We did draw the response for one of the things that I just broke with a secondary response. I have no moves, so I'm going to discard the 1 card that I don't need, and then draw 4 more cards. Off the Neuroses deck, and we're filling up here. We're getting dangerous. We've only got 1 row left, and then we draw back up to 5 cards. Okay. We've got a positive thought to one of the negative thoughts. He, she, why did he/she do that to me? And he, she is the key word in this one. And She probably had no idea they were affecting you. This is the proper response to this negative thought. So we discard that, and we discard that negative thought. I only have one strength card. I'm going to use it to break this one, but this has an add one card to it in the column. It +1 strength to everything in this column below it. So this one is technically a 2. So I'm going to break it with this 4. Now this shows how you can use a card that's stronger to break a lower numbered card. This is virtually a 2. I'm using 4, and there's a spillover of 2 from this 4. I can use that spillover of 2 to break this +1 card. But I can't use any. Technically, the +1 has no value, but I can't use any spillover past the +1 card. So I'm using the 4 to get rid of this and to get rid of this, and I lose the extra 1 point that I didn't spend from the strength. See, and now I'm out of moves. I believe I'm out of moves. Yes, I'm out of moves. So then I draw 4 more cards off of the Neurosis deck. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to draw back up to 5. Another mental block. We got a 6. I'm going to use it on here. I'm going to use this 6 to eliminate 2 cards because we're getting dangerous. And I still don't have any. I still do not have anything to break this. And that's that turn. So I fill up 4 cards. Oh, that's annoying. We're going to draw back up to 5 cards. And we got another draw 2. I'm going to draw 2 more cards to get more options. We're going to use this 5 that I just drew to get rid of this 5. We're going to use this 6 to break this and this. Yeah, this and this. So, but this one has when you break this card, you replace it with another Neuroses card. Technically, how this works is actually I'm just breaking that card, and I'm waiting to see what I get off of that. And that 6 was wasted because I just replaced it with that. And let's see if I've got and I actually have the keyword to break this one, so I use that to break that. Then we're in trouble because I gotta draw 4 more cards. 1, 2, 3, and since we still have a mental block, we still have 1 row that is not mental block. This slips past the limit point on our board here. So that's 1 card that's gone past. It takes 4 cards to completely end the game and you lose. 4 cards that pass by the limit and are mental blocks to end the game. We're in a pretty bad place right now. But if you noticed, there's no negative thoughts in this row. There's no negative thoughts in this row. There's no addictions here. If I can get the last mental block, we could win the game. But it depends on what we draw. So we're going to draw 2 more cards up to our hand limit. All right. Well, we've got to break at least 3 cards. Actually, we got to break at least 2 cards. No, at least 1 card to stay. No, actually 2 cards to stay in the game. I think we've got it. We can break this 2 with this 3. We can break this with this 3, and that would be basically eliminates that. And we don't have any negative. We have no way to break any negative thoughts. I'm going to discard 1 card in chance to get another card to break this other thing. So let's count. Let's 4 off of this deck. 1, 2. Now an addiction. So the addiction would go to the closest negative thought right here, of course. And then we have 1 spillover. So we have 2 spillover right now. And that's still okay. We've got 2 more cards left till the end of the game. We draw up to 5. And we have to figure out how to break everything. So I've got to get rid of at least 3 cards before yeah, 3 cards, no 1. We gotta get at least 2 cards. No, we need 3 cards to continue playing. We're going to have to try and hope we get a good draw on the next time around. Let's see. I use this 3 to break that 3. And we're going to use a secondary. This is the other secondary icon, and this is a secondary negative, the icon that matches on the negative thought, so I can break these. These are temporarily right now stronger, and I can't break anything else. So we hope we gotta get an addiction or something to keep going. 1, 2, 3, and do we lose? Oh, we got an addiction, and that would go to the closest negative thought, so that would be right here. And we're still in the game. We are still in the game, and we draw back up to 5. I don't feel like... Alright. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to stay in the game. Because I'm going to use this negative... I've got just a positive thought to break that negative thought with the keyword. And I have no other cards. So then the game would end because I dropped 4 more. 1, 2, that would end the game. 3, 4. So you end the game on 4. You don't get a chance to respond at the end or anything like that. And that would be the game. I'm going to post this on Board Game Geek with the print and play files. If you want to take a try at it, go ahead. Technically, if I were to win this, I'd have gone through I've only got a couple cards left to go through the Neurosis deck. When the Neurosis deck is completely depleted, then you win the game. If you completely clear this, you win the game. And if you get another mental block out here, you have them all mental block and there's no addictions on the board, then you have won the game. I hope you're interested in it. I hope you give it a chance. I'm still editing it, so there's a lot can change about it, but this is the basic rundown of how it works. Thank you, and you can contact me at on Board Game Geek at ConeFreak1. I'm on Twitter at ConeFreak1. You can also follow me on YouTube at ConeFreak1. And if you don't feel like trekking to Board Game Geek forums to get the print and play, I'll also have the print and play files on the YouTube page for this in the description. Thank you, and keep an eye out. I'm going to be updating this. I also have another game called Excavate that I made a year ago. That's also available for print and play on Board Game Geek. I'll also put the print and play files for that up too on YouTube. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.